Hey there, and welcome back to the deep dive.
Good to be here.
Tonight we're diving into something I think many of us deal with pretty often. What's for dinner?
Ah, the eternal question.
Exactly. And specifically, we've got this source you found. It's a script, right? From a show called Fork and Fry.
Yeah, and it features this recipe for a chicken casserole fajita. Sounds intriguing.
It does. So our mission for this deep dive is to really unpack what makes this recipe tick. Not just the food itself, but also the thinking behind it.
Right, the philosophy.
Yeah, we want to pull out the key stuff about making quick, comforting meals, and also dig into why this source keeps talking about real kitchen experience.
Okay, let's get into it.
Okay, let's unpack this.
So the first thing that, jumped out at me from the script was how relatable it starts.
Mm-hmm.
It talks about that moment, staring at leftover chicken, pantry staples, wondering what on earth you can actually make.
Oh yeah, been there many times.
Right. And this chicken casserole fajita, it seems like it comes directly out of that situation.
Yeah.
That common, weeknight problem.
Totally. It feels like it was born from just needing something, but the idea itself sounds pretty smart. Genius, even.
How so?
Well, they're taking those classic fajita flavors, the smoky spices, the peppers and onions.
Mm-hmm. The Tex-Mex vibe.
Yeah, and mixing it with, the ultimate comfort food format.
Yeah.
A casserole, creamy, cheesy.
Okay, I see where you're going.
You've got the shredded chicken, instant rice, which probably soaks everything up nicely.
The binder, the soup.
Right, that creamy soup thing. And then, crucially, bubbly cheese on top. It just hits all those cozy, satisfying notes.
And the source really pushes the practicality angle. Hard.
Like how?
Well, they talk about it being basically a one-dish meal. And
Yeah.
get this, around 10 minutes of actual hands-on prep.
Oh, 10 minutes prep time. That sounds optimistic.
Huh, maybe. But that efficiency, they argue, isn't just luck. It's deliberate, based on knowing how people actually cook when they're busy.
Okay, 10 minutes prep. How do they say that works without it tasting like, well, cardboard? What are the tricks?
Well, it leans heavily on using things that are already cooked, like that leftover chicken,
Right, saves a step.
and ingredients that work fast, like instant rice that cooks right in the casserole.
Ah, okay. No separate pot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The main work is just quickly sautéing the veggies up front. After that, it's mostly just assembly. It does use convenient stuff like the creamy soup, but it balances it, they say, with fresh things like the peppers and onions for flavor.
Okay, that makes more sense now. Smart assembly, let the oven do the heavy lifting, and you can sort of see that real kitchen experience idea coming through there, can't you?
Totally.
Someone who's actually faced that weeknight rush knows where you can cut corners without disaster striking.
Precisely. And that's where their whole philosophy, the one the source explicitly mentions, real people, real food, with real stories, starts to feel, well, substantial.
So it's not just a tagline.
It seems like they're positioning it as the basis of their expertise. They're not just giving you steps. They're sharing knowledge that comes from actually doing it over and over. That real-life kitchen experience, that's their claim to authority, their authoritativeness.
So that focus on experience,
Yeah.
it's basically their way of building trust, showing their credibility.
I think so, yeah. For you listening, it suggests their recipes might be, more reliable, maybe more forgiving if you're not a pro chef.
Easier, not fancier. I think they said that.
Yeah, exactly. It builds trustworthiness because it feels like it's coming from someone who's tackled the same stuff you do in your own kitchen. It's practical knowledge, stuff you can actually use.
It feels like they value recipes that work for the cook, adaptable, not demanding absolute perfection. They even mention adding corn or beans.
Right. That flexibility screams tested in a real kitchen, doesn't it? Right. Where you use what you have.
Yeah, it really does.
So yeah, the chicken casserole fajita is kind of a perfect example of that whole approach. Familiar stuff combined in a way that's quick, comforting, and reliable because it's, well, road tested.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive. We've looked at this chicken casserole fajita recipe as a pretty clever fix for the what's for dinner panic. Uses easy ingredients, minimal fuss.
Quick and comforting.
And we've tied that back to the fork and fry philosophy, seeing how their emphasis on real-life kitchen experience isn't just talk. It's presented as the source of their expertise, making their stuff feel more trustworthy and, frankly, useful for you.
Exactly. And that brings up, I think, an interesting question for you to mull over.
Oh.
When you're looking for a recipe, what actually makes it valuable to you? Is it just the ingredient list? Or does knowing that it comes from genuine, tested, real kitchen experience That EEAT factor, the experience and expertise, make it feel more, I don't know, solid, more trustworthy.
Hmm, that's a really good point to think about. What makes you trust a recipe source? We've explored how practicality and lived experience shape comfort food like this. We'd definitely love to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, continue the conversation.
You can find the actual chicken casserole fajita recipe details we talked about and see more of their approach over at www.forcanfry.com. That was our source today.
And please do connect with us on our social media pages. Tell us about your go-to comfort foods or what makes a recipe feel trustworthy to you. Maybe even give this casserole a whirl and let Fork and Fry know how it went. Let's keep talking about what makes food really meaningful.
Sounds great. Until next time on The Deep Dive.